what started as a brilliant community art project has ended up dividing the community there. So, a bit of anger being directed at Central Goldfields Shire administrators about the consultation or not in relation to this project. So it's basically a project which received funding, and it was called a Sense of Place. A couple of local artists, renowned ceramicist and sculptor Deborah Halpin, came to Donully and worked with the primary school and kindergarten families to create these really colourful sculptures. They're large, they're pretty vibrant to look at. But in the last year, the project started to divide the town as people argued about where the sculptures should go. Anna Ashton is an artist in Donully, one of them that has been working on this, A Sense of Place, since the beginning. And she joins me now. Anna, good morning.
Good morning, Fiona.
Now, tell us what's happened here from your perspective.
Well, it's really been quite bewildering. The project started with the Regional Centre for Culture, which funded projects across 4 shires for 2018, which was the year for the project. So we applied late 2017, and we as the Ministry of Fun in Donully, this is just my husband, myself, and another friend who has been working on with some other art projects to get the funding. Anyway, the concept was, yes, to have some sculptures. We thought if we could engage somebody like Deborah Halpin who could work with us and teach us skills, upskill the community, give them a sense of achievement by creating something, include as many people as possible, and the style that Deborah suggested included painting, hand painting, well, with nearly 400 tiles, with the school kids, the kinder kids, and community members from as many groups as we could get to say, this is what Donully is. This is the Probus group, it's the CWA, it's the Fire Brigade, it's the SES, it's the golf club, it's the singing group, all that sort of thing. So there are tiles representing all of those groups on the sculptures. And the hiccup came when, and we had intended to go with you in the past, but the council with the administrators, who I must say have been really terrific, they had on their radar a revamp of the gardens, which were a bit tacky, and that held up the installation.
So when you say it held up the installation, these painted tiles you're talking about, in which adults and children participate in the project, these painted tiles then made up the sculptures.
Yes.
They were ready to go, but they didn't have a place to go because of that revamping of the park.
Yes. We'd had consultation with the park, the operations manager of operations, I think he is, and the art people in the council before we started. And the gardens was mooted as probable locations. And then the revamp of the replanning for the gardens stopped them being installed at that stage because that was heading to underway. We had consultations with the consultants who were designing the new plans for the gardens, and they put the plans up on the website, in the local paper, on the windows. I don't know where else they could have put them for feedback. We did. We didn't like a couple of places they suggested the sculptures went. A lot of other people never saw them. And that seems to be where the discussions, I'm not quite sure what you call the protest, I suppose, started when they were about to be installed in October.
And where were they going to be installed then?
Two were going to be installed in the garden and 2 in the main street of town.
And people weren't happy, it seems, about the main street of town. They didn't like what the look of the sculptures did to the streetscape. Is that a good way of describing it?
They felt that the streetscape was a historic streetscape and modern sculptures didn't have a place. In particular, near one building which has a facade that's been restored lovely buildings, but the streetscape is sort of an evolution of styles over the time. I'm not sure what period of history you actually tap it to. But yes, but this was the thing. And since then it's become, we don't want them in Broadway, which is the main street, at all. And yes, there it stands.
Yeah, people are getting quite, well, some people are getting quite, I don't know, like upset and
Irate?
I don't know, irate's a good word to describe it. How does that feel then for you, Anna? Because we're about to move on, but how does it feel for you to kind of be involved in this debate when all you were trying to do was a community art project?
Well, it's been interesting just seeing how passionate some of these people are about the possibility of change, about integrating old and new. Yes, it's really become it's not particularly comfortable, I must say. And I find it quite bewildering, really, and somewhat upsetting. We've been here for 35 years and been involved with art since the day we arrived. And this is the first time we've encountered this sort of antagonism, I suppose.
Yeah, with Facebook groups and stuff being set up.
Yeah, which I avoid. I avoid the Facebook stuff because I think it's not an appropriate place to conduct any sort of community debate, really.
All right, Anna, we must leave it there. Thank you very much. Well done on your work with the actual art itself. In the meantime, where should it go? Well, Wayne McKail isn't happy with the way all this is playing out. He's from the Central Goldfields Ratepayers Association. Wayne, good morning to you.
Oh, g'day, Fiona. How's it going?
Yeah, all right. What's your issue?
Well, I think basically Fiona put it out in one with that. First, we'll go along and say that we do not have an issue at all with the art. We think the art, the concept, the people that have worked in it, the kids' involvement is an absolutely fantastic plan. And we totally support them and everything like that. And had it gone the way it was originally planned, everything was going to be put in the gardens, I'm sure there was no problem. There's 2 mosaics already installed in the gardens, and that's, other than a few little whimpers, we've accepted that and moved on. But as Anna said, the council got involved. So then the council came in. They've put out 3 master plans. In each of those 3 master plans, the mosaics have been changed each time without public consultation. Then when they came in and put in the installations, they put in the installations for the mosaics in Donully in a different spot to what the previous master plan had. So the council was then running around saying, these will go in Broadway. So we're saying, well, hang on, the original plan was back here. Where's the public consultation? All we're asking is let's have a meeting, let's sit down, let's discuss this civilly, and we can put them somewhere.
Council's now saying, and we are about to talk to Mr Harvey from Council, that community members can submit their feedback regarding the placement of 2 community sculptures in Donully. Submissions are open until Tuesday the 4th of February. And you can go to the website now and have your say. Are you happy with that?
Oh, look, that is a movement, but towards the end of last year, they agreed to have a meeting. But what I'm saying is, why didn't this come to public consultation right back before the actual placement and the actual of the footings got put in place? This is just a total unnecessary situation. We've got a fantastic project. We've got a community that's struggling to get over from what it had, and we've got a council that's coming in, putting a knife between us, saying you will do what you want, and basically giving people no ownership of the town that they love.
Do you personally have a problem with the sculptures being on Broadway?
I don't. Oh, well, yes, I do have a problem with on Broadway. I feel they should be in a more suitable place that the whole community can respect them and give it.
Why isn't Broadway suitable on the main street there, adding to the streetscape?
Well, Well, I think the fact that one of the mosaics that was put in was the kangaroo, and that was put in front of the Cobb and Co building, which goes back to 1860, which is a heritage listing building. So the council decided we'll put it there. Then when they poured the footings and a little bit of a furore, came up, they decided, oh, that's not a good idea, so let's change it. So is that good research?
All right, Wayne, we must leave it there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Fiona.
Wayne
Have a good day.
McKail, not happy with the consultation that he's from the Central Goldfields Ratepayers Association. Well, Noel Harvey is the Chief Administrator of the Central Goldfields Shire. Noel, good morning.
Good morning, Fiona. How are you?
I'm all right. A bit of a headache for you.
No, not really. No, I mean, community
Have
art
you seen the Facebook page and the comments?
Oh, yes, I have.
So surely it's a bit of a headache for you.
Facebook pages. Although, I think Facebook is not necessarily a very good representation of what actually goes on. Lots of people get on Facebook, lots of people express their views on Facebook. But as I say, it's just one of a whole range of consultations the council goes through. But it's not particularly a headache. Public art and community art always creates debate in the community, and I think that's a good thing, provided the debate is conducted in a civil, respectful way. I think that's a good thing.
Apparently when the sculptures were put into the park, they got a few complaints. That's why only 2 went in. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. There was some resistance to putting 4 in the park. Yes, that's true.
Okay, so now you're at a point where you were going to put a couple on Broadway, but there's protests against that. So what's going to happen?
No matter where we go, no matter where they end up, there's going to be somebody who's not going to be happy, and I accept that. Again, that's the nature of these sorts of projects. Point out this particular project is not a council project. There's never been a council project, but obviously the final location is a council issue, and then that's why we've had to that's why we are involved in this final step of the project.
Do you think enough consultation was done?
Yeah, look, I get a little bit tired. Mr McKail constantly talks about lack of consultation. We spend extraordinary amounts of time consulting with the community. Just because I haven't particularly spoken to the Ratepayers Association on this particular issue, we get charged with the fact we haven't consulted. The fact is, we are in Donully every week, talking to people, listening to people, attending meetings. We have our listening posts, and people talk to us around a whole range of issues. And yes, we have consulted extensively. I've attended meetings and so on, and we'll continue to do that. We have a formal process out at the moment because Council does need to make a final decision in February on this particular issue about where we locate them. So we're doing a formal process at the moment. So I absolutely reject any suggestion there's been a lack of consultation. The fact is, if it's got to a point where it comes to consultation that people say, well, if the end result I don't agree with it, that means you haven't consulted enough. Consultation doesn't mean agreement and consensus at the end of the process.
So when will the decision be made about where the sculptures can go?
Yep, we're making that final decision at the February Council meeting, so it'll be the 4th Tuesday in February.
In the meantime, people can give feedback via Council's website?
Via Council's website, can write to us formally, and as I say, I will obviously take into account comments that are made on Facebook, but for people, kind of hide behind Facebook, and that's not always terribly helpful. It's more than that, and we'll continue to meet. Karen Douglas is in Donully every single week talking to people. That's her sort of area of the Shire that she looks after, and we will talk to a wide range of people, particularly the residents of Donully. And I underline that. This is about the residents of Donully. The people who live there are the ones we're listening to. That's not the Ratepayers Association. We're listening to the residents of Donully, and they're the ones who that we're listening to. And I feel it's important. This historic streetscape thing. It's a beautiful streetscape, Donully. But that doesn't preclude, and you can look anywhere around the country, anywhere around Europe, where lots of modern additions to a historic streetscape have absolutely added value, and that's something which we're very mindful of as well.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Noel Harvey, the Chief Administrator of the Central Goldfields Shire, and Anna Ashton, who was speaking with before, one of the artists involved with Donully Sense of Place, seemed happy with the consultation. Her feedback was sought, she said, when there was the initial rumblings about the location of what is some really interesting pieces of public art that have been made by the community. 27